Netflix recently released a movie, and I had seen that it was spotlighted when you open Netflix, and so they're really highlighting it. I remember getting an email about the movie, and I thought to myself, oh, I'd like to watch that maybe. But I didn't have the opportunity to do so. And then I saw one of the film critics that I listen to, that I watch on social media, comment on the movie, and I thought, okay, now that I know what they think of it, I want to see if I have the same thoughts. And so I decided to watch this movie. It's called Straw. This isn't an endorsement of the movie, but as I was watching the movie, I thought of the Good Samaritan, actually. I thought about that story and how she needed someone to be a good Samaritan to her. So the main character in the movie is this woman who really has fallen on hard times. She's a single mother in a low socioeconomic situation. Her child has a lot of sickness and needs medical intervention, lots of medicines, very expensive. She can't really afford it. She works a job at a supermarket, so not really making a lot of money, maybe making minimum wage, so can't really make ends meet. So there comes this day that's really the straw that breaks the camel's back, that it's the last straw, the final straw for this lady. Because as this day begins, the landlord says to her, if you don't pay anything by 10:30 today, I'm going to take all your stuff and put it in the front lawn. And then she went off to work and, just taking a little harassment at work from fellow employees. The boss was really cranky and a crabby old man. And then she takes a call and gets yelled at for taking the call, but it's about her child. And so she goes to take care of the child. And the boss says, you come back within an hour. Well, it takes about 2 or 3 hours. And so she gets fired from her job. And then after she leaves her job after being fired, she goes back home. It's raining now, and she realizes and finds all of her things out in the front lawn. What this lady needed was someone to see her as a neighbor. She needed someone to say, I know you can't afford rent, but what could you afford? She needed her boss to say, I understand your child is sickly. You go take care of your kid and we'll make do. She needed people to understand her situation and be willing to help. She needed a good Samaritan, someone who saw her as a neighbor, not someone to be taken advantage of for rent money, to be exploited during working at the supermarket. She wanted and she needed someone to be her neighbor. The story of the Good Samaritan really speaks, I think, to this situation. In our psalm today, it said, turn to the Lord in your time of need and you will live. I would think that this lady, if she's a person of faith, she would have turned to the Lord. And as you turn to the Lord in your need, you will live. Make your requests known to God. He'll help you. And sometimes that person in need crying out to God, the answer is you and me, to be the Good Samaritan that comes into their life, that shows them kindness, that shows them mercy, that doesn't kick them while they're down, but rather come to their help. I've come to realize myself that when it comes to the Good Samaritan, that there's two people here. There's the one who needs the help of the Good Samaritan, so the beneficiary, the one receiving, but then there's the one who gives the help. The one giving the help is going to change that person's life. Help a person in need, you'll change them. But you helping them might actually change you too. That being a good Samaritan can have a positive effect on you, an unintended consequence or result. For me, there was a time where I was a Good Samaritan and also was the recipient at the same exact time. I was on a flight and it was delayed. And so you get to the next airport, you've missed your flight and you got to get rebooked. And it was really inconvenient. They were rebooking us on a different airline and that flight ended up getting canceled. It was a nightmarish day of flying. But as I was waiting in line with other people that missed the connection in Salt Lake City, I started talking to the people behind me. We struck up this conversation and we listened and we supported each other during this time. We ended up going to lunch, and then when we learned our other flight had been canceled, then we went back and tried to figure out how to get rebooked. At the time, I was going through a mini crisis myself. And so this couple, strangers, were willing to listen to me, listen to my venting and my frustrations. They were able to help me a little bit. And then when our flights got canceled and needed to be rebooked, I was able to return that help and to be there for them and to make sure we all got rebooked. And we were there for each other. And it was one of these situations where it changes both of us because we became lifelong friends. I just had dinner with them a few weeks ago as I was passing by where they live in northern Wisconsin. Being a Good Samaritan doesn't cost us anything. In fact, it might help us. It might change us. In our world today, there are people who need a Good Samaritan. There are people who are on the side of the road and in need of help. And we can be like that priest and we can walk by them. And maybe as we walk by, we make a judgment. We could be like the Levite. And as we walk by as the Levite, maybe we say some sort of condescending remark to them or about them. We could do those things. But it doesn't hurt us to be the Good Samaritan, to show mercy and to show kindness. Because when we do so, not only will we be making their life better, but they are making an impact on us as well.